Open hands under pressure. The sacrifice God loves in leaders. There is a moment most faith-based leaders recognize without needing a warning label. It hits when the workday stretches past what you planned, your brain keeps running numbers in the background, and your patience feels rationed. You still want to follow Jesus. You just feel the instinct to conserve, to protect, to keep everything tight so nothing breaks. Hebrews 13:16 names the risk in plain language. And do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased. New International Version. Forgetfulness is not a moral speech you give yourself. It is what happens when pressure crowds out love. When praise becomes visible, worship with hands, not just words. Worship is bigger than lyrics. It is the direction of your life. It is what your mind returns to when you're tired, what your mouth reaches for when you're stressed, and what your choices say you believe when no one is watching. Hebrews ties praise and love together because you can sing about God and still operate like He is not near enough to trust. You may assume God is most pleased when your spiritual habits look clean and consistent. Hebrews 13:16 points you toward a different kind of evidence. Goodness that takes effort, and sharing that costs you something real. This is not extra credit spirituality. This is the daily shape of a life that has been changed. So set the tone early. Before you open the inbox or the financial dashboard, say one specific sentence of praise out loud. Name who God is, not what you need. Then choose one decision today where your hands will stay open on purpose. Late night office check. What pressure is training you to forget? Picture the late night office. The hallway is empty. The lights feel too bright for how tired you are. You click between spreadsheets, messages, and tomorrow's agenda, trying to keep every plate from slipping. You tell yourself you are doing this for the team, for the clients, for the responsibility you carry. And there is truth in that. Then another voice slides in. Hold back. Stay guarded. Keep what you have. It rarely sounds selfish. It sounds smart. It can even sound spiritual. Be cautious. Play it safe. Protect the mission. But Hebrews uses a simpler, sharper word. Forget. Not rebellion. Not hate. Forgetting. You get tunnel vision. You stop noticing people. You stop seeing needs you used to see. You start postponing goodness because it feels inefficient. Open hands are not a luxury. They are obedience. If you want an honest dashboard reading, do not ask, do I believe the verse? Ask, when I feel squeezed, do I become more present and generous or more distant and defensive? Cash flow pressure and open hands. Generosity without denial or panic. Now bring it into the scene leaders dread because it is so real. It is late and you are staring at cash flow numbers that will not behave. A client payment is delayed. Payroll is coming. A vendor needs an answer by morning. You rerun the math, hoping it will change. It does not. Your stomach tightens, and your mind starts drafting a plan that looks like one word: cut. Then your phone buzzes with a message from a team member. Their car needs repairs. They are behind. They are asking if there is any flexibility this month. This is where Hebrews 13:16 becomes more than a verse you nod at. Doing good and sharing are called sacrifices for a reason. They interrupt your default strategy. They ask you to remember what pleases God while you are living with real constraints. This does not mean you ignore reality. It does not mean you give away money you do not have. It means you refuse to let fear make you less human. Sometimes doing good looks like sitting with the person and treating their need as real, not as an inconvenience. Sometimes sharing looks like a temporary adjustment you can carry, a creative solution that spreads burden without shaming anyone, or a clear conversation that protects the business while still protecting dignity. God is pleased when your love shows up in the actual math. The craft of doing good, building a habit of love in small decisions. Goodness is not an impulse. It is a practice you learn. Think craftsmanship, not performance. A craftsperson pays attention to what is in front of them. They choose the right tool. They work patiently. They refuse to cut corners that would weaken the whole. That is how doing good works in leadership. It is not a single heroic act. It is a steady commitment to shape your work with integrity and care. When you are tired, you can start treating people like tasks and conversations like obstacles. Hebrews 13:16 invites a different habit. Keep doing good. Keep sharing. Keep showing up with hands that are open in practical ways. Make it concrete today. Draft the message of encouragement you keep postponing and hit send. Give clarity in a meeting instead of letting confusion linger. Share credit publicly when it would be easier to absorb it. Offer coaching that takes time instead of a quick critique that leaves someone smaller inside. Create a small pocket of margin in your week so you can help a person without resenting them for interrupting you. This is not softness. This is craftsmanship in the way you love. Home, team, and neighbor. Sharing that strengthens relationships. Hebrews 13:16 does not stop at business decisions. It reaches into the whole life of a leader. You can keep your hands open at work and still come home with your attention locked away. You can talk about serving others and still protect yourself emotionally from the people who need you most. Sharing is not only money. It is attention. It is presence. It is letting someone else's reality matter to you when you would rather shut down. It is being interruptible without becoming resentful. If pressure has made you short, choose one small repair tonight. Sit at the table without a screen. Ask one question you cannot answer with a yes or no. Listen without rushing to solve. If you have been distant, own it simply. If you have been sharp, apologize plainly. If you have been distracted, give someone 10 minutes of full attention and treat it like an offering. Generosity in relationships often looks like small, repeatable decisions that rebuild trust over time. One life, one leadership, where worship and work meet in public. Faith-based leadership is not a split life. It is one life aimed at God, lived in the open, expressed through choices people can feel. Hebrews 13:16 refuses to let worship stay in a private corner of your schedule. It pushes it into the places where you spend your hours and spend your energy. So here are the next moves that fit real life. Start the day with one sentence of praise before the day asks anything from you. Choose one act of good that will cost you time, attention, or humility. Choose one act of sharing that fits your season, whether that is credit, margin, flexibility, access, or money. Decide them early because pressure will try to decide for you later. Your leadership will always spend something. Spend it in a way that makes God smile. Late night office blessing. A quiet reset. You are not trying to earn God's favor. You are learning what delights Him and choosing it on purpose. Hebrews 13:16 is not another demand on your already full plate. It is a steady reminder of what matters when everything feels urgent. When you feel yourself closing up, stop and remember. Do good. Share. Let praise become visible. Where will you choose to keep your hands open tomorrow when you feel the pull to protect.